Currently, I'm calling the internet into question for terms of morality. There has been many studies that state the internet has actually decreased our level of intimate conversation, but many will argue the internet has increased our level of communication. Not only are we allowed to converse with those in our communities who we physically see and know personally, but we can expand our reach to people across the globe and across separate cultural expanses. Our level of communication is now almost instantaneous. This video is meant to focus on social media and how we interact over the internet, and whether or not we should limit the amount of time on it, as well as if it truly benefits our society. So let's go ahead and look at the social media platforms. First up is Twitter. Twitter is a social media platform that is used mainly for people to spread their opinions or get in contact with popular figureheads. As long as it will fit within the allocated 140 characters, of course, people use it to talk to others they normally would not get the chance to. In fact, our current United States President Donald Trump used Twitter to launch his campaign and make him more relatable to the voter. They were able to ask him direct questions about issues, and he was able to give his own feedback. This helped enable him and propel him into the White House. Twitter has become the major area of communication between governmental figures and their citizens. Well, via social media anyways. 83% of world leaders use Twitter. So in this manner, it has definitely brought our society to a new level of positive communication because it allows for a more direct democracy. With 1.3 billion registered users and even more able to view and discuss public topics, it has created an impact globally. However, as stated before, the 140 characters does not really lend itself to discussion. Instead, Twitter is used more as a reactionary post. It allows for a more current record and up-to-date receipt of how they were feeling. But there is another social media platform titled Reddit. It was created in 2005 and its slogan is the front page of the internet. This is because it tends to have the newest, hottest topics before the rest of the social media platforms. Part of this reason is because of their algorithm that allows newer content to be upvoted, votes that are distributed based off user interest and shown on the front page. The other main reason is the 3.368 million Redditors and 8.3 billion page reviews they generate per month, in which people develop and talk about personal discussions and in-depth conversation. Once again, allowed because of its formatting. People tend to be more honest when social media platforms such as Reddit are centralized on anonymity and conversation. They tend to be more vocal, and this is the place to, quote, nerd out, so to speak. And if Reddit is a place to be based in anonymity and discussion, then Facebook, one of the largest social media platforms with 1.94 billion users, is a place where you're supposed to reconnect with people and your real-life friends. Unfortunately, because Facebook is so public, people tend to only present the happiest side of themselves. They display what is the best part of their life because so many people look at it. Jobs look at it, colleges look at it, and people that you want to impress tend to surf your Facebook because it is directly linked to you. Unfortunately, as users see more and more people becoming happier than they are, it also creates an increase in depression. The Computers in Human Behavior was published, and they had found in a survey of 1,787 young adults Is there something going on biologically that we're missing out on? The answer is yes, we are missing out on something. In our brains, there are these neurons specifically called mirror neurons. They are caused and created by a response in which when one person performs an action, in your brain, the neurons fire as if you are performing the action. And it is this method that inspires empathy within the human race. It also creates a larger cortex as more and more neurons interconnect, the network becomes more vast. However, if you have underdeveloped mirror neurons, then your empathy tends to lack, and without a solid baseline, it does create more fluctuations in hormones that tends to cause depression. Now, mirror neurons are a response to external stimuli. Typically, this is when, once again, you view someone else seeing it. But as more and more people trend towards textual evidence and images and limited scopes, the mirror neurons become used less and less. Once again, this is the part that leads to the depression. Without that stimuli, our empathetic portions of our brain that deal with emotion tend to become more limited. Forbes did a study in 2014 where millennials tend to be more efficient and they desire more of textual forms in emails or, like I said earlier, texting, where they could have physical proof of what they need to do, and it's a checklist in terms of how they are to be. And this is infinitely more efficient in the business area because millennials, according to Forbes, just want to know what to do. Reading emotion for them can be a difficult chore. Once again, the neurons are not stimulated on a regular basis. It is harder to understand. So while it may be more efficient, it is actually detrimental towards our own livelihood. So perhaps that is the answer. While increased globalization does benefit our society and increases our ability to communicate, and it is positively influencing this aspect, we must also limit the amount of time on social media, or at the very least balance it out with real life interaction, or at least face-to-face interaction. A brilliant supplement would be FaceTiming, in which people can physically see their partner, receive that stimulus, and still have that instantaneous connection. Even more so, especially as that is the correct answer, in which we mold our technology to be more benefiting towards our own human life. And who knows, maybe even virtual reality or augmented reality could supplement. But once again, that is a whole different topic. Thank you for listening.